Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 25th, and I'm Chris Allen here at 270 Weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. All right, we're looking beyond today to what's coming maybe Sunday. There's a chatter all over the place. You've seen it. If you've been scrolling Facebook, if you've been scrolling X, TikTok, it doesn't matter. Instagram, it's all there. Um, it's, I'll have to say that there are a number of what I call trustworthy weather sources that are out there that are like, look, this is a long way off. Sunday is several days away. Don't buy into the hype that you may be seeing, and that's good. Those are the people that you can trust. And then you'll get those who, when they're called out for their hype, they say, no, 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 no. Look, I'm not hyping this up. This is just the weather service. I'm using their map and they're saying this could happen. But at the same time, they're feeding off of your fear. They are. That's That's I'm putting it where the rubber meets the road. They're feeding off your fear so that you will like, click, share, and be scared. Share and be scared. Ooh, that just came to me. But it's true. I mean, it is true. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm just trying to warn people. I'm just trying to, look. Just because they posted this a week out, pretty much, that's a little okay. All it says is they're a little more sure about this than they usually are. It doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. I mean, we're way too far away from the window of getting all the details. And if you read some of those posts, they start getting into the details. Well, this means this, and this means that, and oh, it means tornadoes everywhere, and blah blah blah. You better batten down the hatches. Oh my goodness, it's going to be horrible. No, I can tell you what's going to happen. In the coming days, you're going to see that area push in a little bit more, and it's going to be more defined as to the exact area that is going to be under the gun, so to speak, that is going to be in that, risk area that is going to be possible for tornadoes. That's all it is. And they put it there in hopes of you having plenty of time to be prepared because preparedness is what it's all about. But we'll get to that in just a moment. In the meantime, let's review the numbers from yesterday. And as you can see, 67 was our official high temperature at the Bowling Green Regional Airport. That's where the official readings are taken for the city of Bowling Green, Kentucky. 4 degrees above normal. Normal is 63. The low was 43. We had no rainfall yesterday, even though there were a couple of little sprinkles and little raindrops in parts of the area last night with a weak disturbance as it passed overhead. But I want you to look at this because I've had a few ask me about rainfall. Where do we stand? Remember last year we were at a deficit. There was the drought. Remember that? Well, of course, it wasn't in March. It was later in the year. It was more like August, September. But here we are, March so far to today, which is the 25th. We've registered 4.35 inches of rain. That's 81 hundredths of an inch above normal for the month. But look at the year to date, and these are the numbers the farmers pay attention to. 17.15 year to date. That is almost 6 inches above normal. That's the kind of crazy rainfall we've had this year so far. And if you will recall, some of you that have a great memory will recall back when we were having that drought, I said, hang on, it will more than make up the deficit at some point, and we're there. So we go from drought to drenching, and there you go. Those are the numbers, in case you were curious about that. Okay, here's a look at radar as of 7:44 this morning. I'll put it into motion. There's that little upper wave as it just, as you see, it just deposited a few drops of rain, but it had a lot of dry air to overcome here at the surface. So most of us did not get anything out of this, just cloud cover. And that cloud cover is about to actually move out as we go through the morning. We're going to see gradual clearing from west to east. Here's a look at the high resolution satellite view as of 7:45 this morning. And you can see there's Bowling Green, and we've got the scattered clouds. There's that upper disturbance moving off to the east. These are all clear skies back here to the west, showing 48, the temperature right now in Bowling Green. Let me see if I can put a little bit of a breeze on here. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the winds have been easterly, but now are starting to become more north and west. So that's a signal of the upper wave as it passes by. And the winds for today will become a little more north for a while. Some of you may be easterly for the time being, but they're going to shift and go more northerly and then shift even more and go southwesterly later on. So, yeah, we've got wind changing direction, unidirectional wind this morning. Let's check the Mesonet site, Kentucky Mesonet from WKU. And we check current temperatures and information, as you can see, with all the reporting stations around the region. We go to Southern Kentucky because that's the 270 area code. And there you see lots of 40s, almost 50 in a couple of places. But actually, these are pretty normal temperatures for this time of the year. Precipitation, probably nothing. Yeah, I didn't think so. Not enough to measure anyway. Winds, there you go. Several directional wind changes here as that disturbance passes by. A lot of southeast, east, northeast, and then we're starting to see a shift to the north, back to the west. But winds are fairly light, maybe 5 to 10. No gusts really, not anything. The winds will pick up a little bit today, but they're not going to be as gusty or as breezy as they have been. And to show you just how dry it is here at the surface, dew points are only in the 30s, some 20s. That's pretty dry. So that's why with that disturbance, when it went by, when the numbers are this low, you're not going to see any more. You're not going to see moisture make it to the ground. It just evaporates before it even reaches ground. All right, let's go on to the maps, and then we'll get into the Sunday severe weather scenario. Sunday severe weather scenario. Um, Here's a look at that disturbance as it's passing on by. Not really much of a big deal. This thing's just going to push all of the clouds and the shower activity off to the east. Here we go into Wednesday morning, right around midnight. High pressure in control, going to give us a pretty good next couple of days. I don't foresee really any issues coming in anytime soon. These will be some tranquil days and temperatures running at or above normal for this time of the year, which the normal is 63, but it actually goes up a little bit more each day, 64, 65, as we get closer to the weekend. Here comes another disturbance, this one on Thursday. Some lift ahead of a warm front on the backside of a high pressure ridge. There you see just a few showers. They may not even affect us here in southern Kentucky. It may be more north of uh, that lift with the warm front. Here we go into Saturday. Now, Saturday, there will be severe weather back to the west of us. For us, some showers Saturday morning. We get into Sunday morning, and this is when we start to see the severe weather threat raise. But I see a lot of rain, which also means there's a lot of cloud cover. Okay. Now, can the cloud cover and the rain, the big question, this is why it's called a conditional severe weather risk, not a absolute. It's not an absolute. There's still time for this to change and flex and move, but this conditional severe weather threat is there because how much instability will be there? There will be some dynamic with the front causing lift. You need that. But how much instability will there be? If we're going to get lots of rounds of rain and cloud cover, this is not going to happen for us. You can see that as of 7 a.m. Sunday morning, they have the red zone area, West Tennessee, Boot Hill of Missouri, eastern Arkansas, much of Mississippi. That seems to be sort of the target area for the more intense activity, but that could change too. Here we go into Monday morning. The cold front passes, and so does the threat. It moves off to the Atlantic seaboard. Okay. So that's the way it's synoptically, and I mean by putting it all on a map, laying down the precipitation, the cold fronts, the warm fronts, the low pressure, high pressure, synoptically, that's where everything is going. Okay. So what about the severe weather threat itself? Well, let's take a look. Here is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Now, everything's quiet here. Here we are today, tomorrow. Now we get into Thursday, that little last disturbance before the big storm. There's a marginal severe weather threat for parts of Illinois, Indiana. For us, this is the garden variety thunderstorm, nothing severe. Or this is what they call the general risk. And I go, general risk. Okay. That's all that is. Not anything for us to worry about. Here's Friday, here's Saturday, here's Sunday. Now, we're not within the short-term window where we can look at this and say, okay, this is going to be big. It is big. It's a big area. It's one of the largest, and somebody, I forgot who, but one of my more trusted fellow meteorologists out there that used to work and live in Kentucky is saying that by square miles, this is the largest severe weather outlook area that ever, he says. That's his claim. I don't know. But when you look down here at the little box, see some of these armchair meteorologists and forecasters don't tell you this part. Probability of severe weather 15 to 29%, say 30. 15 to 30% probability of severe weather within 25 miles of a point. So if your point is Bowling Green, we're saying 25 miles around there, you have on the low end, a 15% chance, on the high end, close to 30% chance that you will get some kind of severe weather. It doesn't mean a tornado. A tornado is severe. Yes, it could be that, but it could also be damaging wind. It could also be flooding rains. It could also be intense lightning. It could also be large hail. There's other severe weather events besides a tornado, but that's where everybody goes. Everybody goes to look at this. I mean, I saw some yesterday. I thought, okay, I'm not going to engage with them because it'll just be a mess and it will never end. But I saw some yesterday that said this entire area that you see in yellow, tornadoes everywhere, everywhere. Could be the largest tornado outbreak ever. All right, here's the thing. There is that much truth in that statement. Yeah, it could happen. But the problem is we are scaring people for no reason. We, not me, others, because there's so much that can change between now and then. So I want you to just understand, do not get into all that mess and just be cool. All right. Something will happen somewhere, but I do think this whole area is going to shrink and become more defined over the next several days. And then we'll better know where exactly the best setup for severe weather will be. But to just blatantly for clicks, likes, and shares, get on social media and just, oh my goodness, this is going to be horrible. It's going to be widespread tornado outbreak damage, fatalities, maybe. And, I mean, some of them are going there. And then they put up these other little maps that show the best shear paths and velocities and, the best setup for twisting. And look, it's getting way ahead of the game here. They're trying to outguess nature. You can't do that. This is our best guess. This is the way it looks right now as of 7:57 on a Tuesday morning before Sunday. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even part of Sunday before this happens. You're talking about almost 5 days out. You cannot base an outcome just on this. This is just, the Weather Service is doing us a favor. They're doing us really what we pay taxes for them to do. And that's to give us a heads up as to what they see coming. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get a tornado or that this is going to be a big outbreak. I don't care who it is. I don't care how big their name is. I don't care if they're on a network. It doesn't matter to me. When they start going into all this, they start doing the promos. Look at us. We've got the coverage. We're going to be here because it's going to be bad. We're going to be out in it too. You're going to see our hair blow around. We're going to get hit almost by the tornado, but we'll be there. Like, stop. Just stop. I mean, really. So anyway, that's that. That's all I'm going to say about it. Well, it's all I'm going to say about it right now. I'll say more tomorrow, I'm sure. You can count on it. All right, here's a look at the model blender. Temperatures, as I mentioned, running about where they should be this time of the year. 60s for the most part, but we will have some of those days. And here's another ingredient needed to provide some active weather, and that's warmer than normal temperatures. And we're talking about going maybe 10 degrees or more warmer than normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday being the most active day. And look at that, we may get close to 80. The last day that we had, um, really that threat of a big threat of severe weather, even though we had some, what was it, Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. Before that, it was those days that we had near 80-degree temperature or at 80. And that right now seems to be the threshold of it's too warm. Now, if the dew points start to climb closer to 60, that's another threshold. That means there's enough available moisture being warmed abnormally. Then all we need is some lift and spin in the atmosphere, and there you go. Now, will all those ingredients be there? Maybe. It looks like certainly the moisture will be there and the warm air, but will the lift, will the dynamics be there? And to what extent? That's the big question. After that, though, look, we do cool down back into the 60s, but these numbers are right where we should be for this time of the year. So, the good news out of all this is that I don't see any cold air coming. I don't see any big cooler shots of, air coming our direction. All right, here's your 7-day forecast as I posted last night at WNKY.com. News 40 weather app, 68 today, with a few clouds as you saw this morning, but we're clearing up pretty nicely. In fact, I didn't show you, I forgot to show you the Plano cam. I just got tied up in all the rest of it. But anyway, skies are clearing. Take my word for it. 63, a nice day tomorrow. Most of Thursday, I think, will be okay, but there will be that chance that we could see a few showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder, but Thursday will not be a severe weather day. 75. Now, that warm front is going to come in Friday. This is the warmer push of air from the south. It will become breezy on Friday, and it's going to stay in the mid 70s pretty much all the way through the weekend. A few shower chances Friday, but better chance late Thursday or Saturday, I should say. And then Sunday afternoon and evening is when we could see the trouble spot being somewhere near us, if not us, and for the active weather. And then Monday, 76. So there's your 7-day forecast, which you can see, as I mentioned, at WNKY.com and on the News 40 weather app, which I hope that you've by now, all of you that are in here, you know what I should do? I should make it so, well, there's no way to check that. I was going to say, I should make it so that if you've not downloaded the News 40 weather app, you can't be in the chat room. But there's no way to check that, is there? No? Okay. I didn't think so. Doggone it. All right. Well, I was trying. But anyway, you should, there's the QR code. You should download it and just get ready. Just get ready. It's all about preparation. That's what it is. All about preparation. When you're ready and you're prepared, it's like, okay, it's coming. We can't stop it. Let's just ride through it together. Let's pray and just hang on. That's all you can do. But don't walk around pacing the floor worrying about this stuff. It does no good. It's not gonna make it go away. I know, because I've lived it. You guys, I love you. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in to 270 Weather and for trusting me all these decades for checking on your weather here in Southern Kentucky. I'll see you tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on News